Welcome. This is Charlotte Jacobs, and on today's Thrive Thursday, we are going to be talking about how to position yourself like a rock star without sounding arrogant. Now, why is this important? Well, if you don't gain instant credibility with people when you talk to potential clients, they are not as likely to hire you. It takes a lot more work. So it's really important that you master positioning so that your ideal clients will practically talk themselves into working with you. You may know our system, the 5 elements of hard selling. We talk about this as the 6th element. So I'm really, really glad that you're here. This is episode 41 of Thrive Thursday. This is the place to be for coaches and holistic practitioners who want to change the world and want to attract more clients. Now, if you are ready to have more of your ideal clients saying yes to your work and yes to working with you, stay tuned because you are going to discover some very specific things that you can do during today's Facebook Live to attract more of your ideal clients. So turn on your sound now if you haven't already done so. And I really would love to know who you are. So if you are joining me, please type in the comments where you're from and what you do, because I'm going to know your name because it's going to show me your name and pictures. So, and I've also got 2 special gifts for you today. So if you're not attracting droves of your ideal clients, and if you're honest, if you're not really sure what it takes to attract the right clients, and to have them say yes, then I want to offer you a free copy of our book, The Art of Attracting Clients. This is like a course on our system called Heart Selling, where you'll discover how to watch your potential clients practically talk themselves into working with you if it's a good match, and so much more. You can get your copy by going to giftfromthrive.com/art of attracting clients, and you can get a free digital copy of the book. And then if you are looking for a heartfelt place to connect and collaborate and celebrate with other coaches and holistic practitioners who change the world, I want to invite you to join us in our very special Facebook group with the very same name. So you can find the link in the description of today's video. I realized I haven't actually posted it yet, but I will once we're done with today's video. So today, I want to connect with your heart and not just your head. So make sure to turn on your sound, because besides having more connection, I think I'm a bit more fun when I'm not muted. All right. So in case we're meeting for the first time, I'm Charlotte Jacobs, co-founder of Thrive Academy, where my husband and business partner, Jesse and Corin, and I have taught over 50,000 coaches and holistic practitioners how to attract more clients using heart-based systems. We started this business almost 14 years ago, and we are proud to say that many of the transformational leaders of today had their first 6-figure year while working with us, and our clients have earned over $100 million collectively. Now, I will save our story for another time. If you actually want to go check out our story, you can go to the Thrive Academy Facebook page. There's a great, fun little video there. It tells you all about us. For now, I just want to get right into the heart of how to position yourself like a rock star without sounding arrogant. So let's start by answering the question, what is positioning? So, and I am just noticing I was supposed to be able to share my screen, and I do not see where I can do that on this new platform I'm using. So, and I see Connie says hi. Hello, Connie. Great to see you here. So we're just going to have to go without slides today, and that is all right. We'll still get to the heart of the matter. So what is positioning? Positioning is the space that you occupy in the mind of your potential client. In other words, it's how they see you. It's how they listen to you. And this concept was made famous by a book called Positioning by Al Ries and Jack Trout. Now, fortunately, you have some say as to the position that you occupy in their mind. You see, when you share things that are impressive about yourself, you're letting your potential client know that you're credible and you're trustworthy and that they can feel safe in investing and working with you. You want your potential client to see you as someone who could be their mentor. And you'll get some specific examples of this as we dive deeper today. Now, why is positioning important? Really, until you learn how to position yourself with credibility, your potential clients are not likely to see you as a potential mentor. And, regardless of whatever modality it is that you do, you could be a mentor in business, in relationships, in health, in the body. And it doesn't really matter what you do as a coach or holistic practitioner. The thing is that if they don't see you as a mentor, as a potential mentor, they're not likely to become your client, no matter how you communicate about what you do. Yet once you master the art of positioning yourself, your potential clients will feel so lucky to have met you. They will often be so inspired by you that they will naturally start to imagine what it would be like to be your client. This makes it so much more likely that they'll become your client and send you lots of referrals. Now, you may not like the way this sounds, but here's the truth. If you don't intentionally position yourself as a mentor or expert, your potential clients will still make a decision about where you fit anyways. In other words, they're going to position you no matter what happens. So would you rather have them position you as a mentor or an expert, or would you rather have them position you in some other ways? Like, you may not like the way they position you. So instead of seeing you as a potential mentor, they could position you as a potential friend, a colleague, or a romantic interest. They could even see you as a potential client. You've had that happen to you where you're going to the networking event to go and connect with people, and somebody, you can tell they have positioned you as a potential client. And once they make up their mind about how they should relate to you, it's very difficult to change that. So can you see how you could have a great, powerful conversation with them, but if they're seeing you as a potential friend, colleague, or romantic interest or client for them, they're not as likely to become your client. So it's much more likely that they will become your client if they see you as a potential mentor, and they will make that decision in the first 1 to 3 minutes of the conversation. By the way, if you're listening to this and you know other coaches and holistic practitioners who you think would get a lot of value from hearing this, please share this video. I'm sure they would be really grateful. Now, I'll say this, that while you can't control exactly how your potential client sees you, there are things that you can say that will make it much more likely that they see you as a potential mentor. So the question is, how do you create instant credibility without sounding like a cheesy used car salesman or something strange like that? So your potential client really needs to both like you and respect you. And it comes from sharing 2 things in the beginning of the conversation when you're first meeting them. Number 1, you share your expertise. Number 2, you share your humanity. So if we look at some of our favorite transformational leaders of all time, we will see that, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Marianne Williamson, Byron Katie, that they hold themselves with authority and share their expertise, but you also really feel their humanity. And so that's what you want to model. So you really need to take your expertise and your humanity, and you need to marry them together. When you do this, people will like you and respect you as the mentor that you are. So how do you do this specifically? How can you say great things about yourself without being perceived as arrogant? So here are 2 hot tips. First of all, when your heart is open and you're truly connected with someone, when you share your greatness, they will be inspired rather than turned off. Second, do your best to share your expertise and humanity in the same sentence. So I'll give you an example. So after almost 14 years of teaching coaches and holistic practitioners how to attract more clients, Jesse and I do our best to include something about us that also makes us human within the same sentence or soon after. So here's a specific example. Even though Jesse and I have helped our clients earn over $100 million collectively and received lots of gratitude for our clients, honestly, we still sometimes question whether we're making a big enough difference. And so you can see I'm weaving in both our expertise and our humanity into this one sentence. I've also got another example from Lori Opal, who is a licensed marriage family therapist. And she could say something like this. After losing my marriage while in the midst of treatment for breast cancer, I realized that my 25 years as a therapist, where I worked with my clients to move through trauma, is one of life's greatest gifts to me. So pretty cool, right? I have one more. I asked some of our Thrive members to share just last night. And I said, hey, can some of you share your positioning statements? Would love to hear. And so I am going to look this up because it was such a great example. Actually, lots of positioning statements here. So I'm looking on, of course the phone is like super slow right now, maybe because the Wi-Fi is doing Facebook Live. So we'll see if that shows up here in just a moment. What's really going on the Thrive membership are all these videos from our Thrive Talent show at our 6-Figure Speaker 2 event. So they're all posted near here at the top. So I'll find that in just a moment, but I'll give it as an example a little bit later. All right. So one of them, so in a moment, actually, you're going to discover 5 different ways to position yourself. And one of the most common questions we get when we introduce positioning is, what if it feels awkward, right? So the thing is that positioning yourself is like a muscle, right? If you haven't worked out your positioning yourself muscle for a while, it may feel weak and it may feel awkward. However, if you're willing to just breathe through this discomfort, you will find that people will appreciate knowing how great you are, and you'll find that it gets easier to get clients. So if you position yourself highly, will your potential clients feel insecure? Well, we're all about empowering people, right? And you don't want people to like feel bad about themselves. But the truth is, you can't control whether your potential clients feel insecure. But what you can do is set an intention for everyone you meet to leave feeling empowered. And I just want you to imagine that you and your potential client are climbing a mountain together. And you see, when you deposition yourself, meaning you position yourself lower than your potential client, you have to use a lot of energy to push them up the mountain. But if you position yourself as if you are farther along that mountain than they are, then it's much easier to lift them up to join you at the top. Make sense? So here's how this works. You position yourself highly so they look up to you and they think you're an amazing human being. And then when you use the metal element, I'll save the elements for another video, but when you use the metal element to acknowledge them and use the other elements to show up in service or be curious about them, they feel special. They feel like someone who is noteworthy because somebody like you thinks they're amazing. And so they feel way more special than if you had depositioned yourself. And so question is it okay to be bold? Well, positioning takes the willingness to be bold, but is it okay to be bold? Chances are that many people have told you to be modest and be humble. Don't be arrogant, right? Think about some of these phrases. Who do you think you are? Or don't be too big for your britches, or don't be so full of yourself, right? And even, I just have to tell you that, so we have two children, they're 7 and 10, both boys. And I noticed there's this thing called the 9-year change they talk about in the school that we go to, which is Waldorf. And I kind of expect the children, because they are, in some sense, they're sheltered from the media mostly, and their emotional intelligence is really cultivated. I kind of expect them to skip over some of those adolescent things or like preteen things that they might go through. But I noticed that our 10-year-old is already doing self put downs, and that I watch his friends do it. I hear his friends do it. And I think, gosh, we all get that conditioning, don't we? I mean, every single one of us had that conditioning. And I feel like the kind of like sarcasm and teasing that a lot of us grew up with, and those put downs, that really erodes our self-esteem and has us feel insecure. And so how do we overcome some of that? Well, you actually have to do some of the work to get through that. And when you think about it, some of these sayings like, well, who do you think you are? Or don't be too big for your britches. I say, get bigger britches if you are not, you're thinking you're too big for your britches. So all of these things may have left you with a feeling that you should be small and humble and modest. And we all want to avoid seeming to be arrogant, right? So where are you on the scale right now? Are you more on the bold scale, or are you more on the timid? And so there's like a spectrum here, like timid to bold. And where are you when it comes to sharing about your work or sharing about what you do? So I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you feel inclined to share, would love to hear, where are you? Because it's going to give us a good sense of where we need to go, right? All right. So I will say this, that we have had hundreds of our members have at least their first $10,000 a month. And where do you think they hang out? They hang out on the bold side of the spectrum. So we encourage you to stretch into being bolder with your positioning. Really positioning yourself like a rock star is essential to getting clients. You don't need to use all of these strategies. All it takes is one great positioning piece to come across to your potential clients as a rock star. So let's start with the first way to position yourself if you don't have any experience or clients. And I am excited to share about these 5 strategies with you, these 5 ways you can position yourself. So number 1, you can position yourself with your hero's journey story. So often all it takes is to say that you've walked the path so you know what it's like to be where they are. You've had that pain, but you had a turning point and now your life is amazing. Or at least you're a few steps ahead of your potential client. We often share our story of going from not being able to get clients, quitting and getting a job, and then going from $0 to $175,000 in our first year of business together. And if you work with people who have who have cancer and you've healed cancer yourself, you don't have to have thousands of testimonials. You don't have to have a PhD, because you know what it takes to heal cancer, and that gives you a lot of credibility. So the minimum that it takes to be successful with this type of positioning is you've struggled with the problem that your people have, and you're now 2 or more steps closer to where they want to be. Now, if you don't know what you would share in your hero's journey story yet, don't worry. We'll dive more deeply into hero's journey story at another time. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have a video up on the Thrive Academy Facebook page on hero's journey story. So let's talk about the next positioning piece, number 2, which is your personal results. So we might share, for example, that we have personally sold over $20 million in our business. And even though, we're actually most proud that our clients have collectively earned over $100 million. So I want you to think about the specific results that you've gotten in your own life, especially as it applies to the type of problem that you help people solve in your business. And the minimum that it takes to be successful with this type of positioning is to have achieved a level of success in your area that your ideal clients would find impressive. Now, you've achieved results that they would like to achieve. So if you're in the money niche, maybe you've had a, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, a 6-figure year, $1 million plus career. I kind of doubt you'd be at the 6 figures or $1 million if you hadn't yet figured out positioning. So if you're in the health and or beauty niche, maybe people regularly compliment you on your radiant energy or your clear, youthful skin or your, vibrant, healthy, lean body. If you're in the relationship niche, maybe people comment on the passion that you emanate when you speak about your partner. Is this making sense? So if you don't have personal results yet, don't worry. Next, we've got positioning, way to position yourself, number 3. And this one is probably something that every single one of you can use. And that is the length of your education or training and when it comes to personal and professional development. So Jesse and I could say we've had a combined over 32 years in business. And this type of positioning works best if you've got 10 or more years of experience. But don't worry, because maybe you don't have 10 years experience yet, but listen to this one. It also works if you're in the personal development niche. So for those of you who are just getting started, you can say, I've studied health for, you can actually say like, I've studied and coached people in health for 10, 15, 20 years. And during this time, many people have been drawn to me and asked for my support. And so I decided quite some time ago to dedicate my life to helping hundreds or thousands of people overcome this problem. Now, the thing about this is we would never want you to say anything that's out of alignment. So don't say anything that doesn't feel good to you, that doesn't feel right. But if you've been really studying this stuff, people have been drawn to you over the years, whether it's friends, roommates, family members, to ask you for advice, then everything that I've just shared could be true. So it's a really positive way of explaining that even though you're new to your business, which you don't necessarily have to say, you've been preparing your whole life to do this. You wouldn't be sitting here if you hadn't prepared your whole life to help people in the way you're choosing to help people. So this is a moment to become aware where you say like, wow, my whole life was actually designed as a research experiment so that I could be of the greatest service to the people who are drawn to me. And that brings us to a 4th type of positioning. This one can be somewhat controversial, so I hope you're going to hang in there with me and just be willing to hang in there with me in a moment, because this one might be surprising to you, or maybe it won't be surprising, but you might have a little resistance, but just hang in there with me. So number 4 is your appearance. What's awesome about this one is that this is something you can totally control, and you could actually triple the results that you get overnight by changing your appearance, by, just even if you're just getting started in business. So we strongly encourage you, here is a guideline to dress 2 notches better than your potential clients. So if your potential clients typically wear sweats, then don't come in a suit and tie or all decked out with all your hair and makeup, because it's too much of a disconnect for them. So 2 notches, on the other hand, is a good place to land. So when you do this, your potential clients will automatically admire you and when they're seeing you at your best. So especially if your ideal clients aspire to earn money. So you want to dress like you're making 6 figures already, even if you're not quite there yet. So and dress in a way that people give you compliments. Now you may think, I just want people to love me and respect me for who I am on the inside. I don't want to dress up. And if that's the case, I can totally relate. I will be honest with you. Most of the time, I don't do my hair and makeup. I only do hair and makeup for when I have to be on camera or on stage. I am a yoga pants, hat wearing kind of mom. I'm actually usually in gym clothes. So, and that's the reality. But when I'm going to a place where I'm going to be in front of people who could be potential clients or our clients, I put myself together. That doesn't mean that if I run into a client, at the grocery store or something, and I'm in my mom uniform, that I'm going to need to be embarrassed. but because I have other positioning pieces, but this is one way that can really support you. And I have to tell you, I was extremely resistant to this concept at first. I really wanted people to see me for who I was on the inside. And I'll be honest with you, I was doing the best I could. I realized that if I was going to go to networking events, that I better put myself together. So I was doing the very best I could. And I was at a workshop where we were talking about image, and we got into a group of 4 people, and it was me and Jesse and 2 other people. And they thought I was a secretary, and they thought Jesse was some kind of like computer consultant kind of guy, like an IT guy. And that really woke us up, because we were, at the time, we were teaching people how to have a 6-figure business, and really trying to, we were kind of breaking into that. At that point, we had already had our first 6-figure year, even not looking as good as we could, but that's okay. It took us about a year. It was our 3rd year that we actually really saw an image consultant invested in that. And we did okay. But in that 3rd year, where after we did that, we also had a $732,000 year. And I think that had something to do with it. So I did not realize, and this is the big piece, I did not realize that how I was dressed was actually getting in the way of people seeing me. You see, your inner beauty and your inner brilliance should be reflected by how you dress. In other words, if you're amazing and everyone just said you're amazing, then let your appearance match who you are on the inside. And if you don't dress your best when you're meeting with potential clients or even potential partners, then you're suddenly depositioning yourself, just like when you don't talk about yourself in the best way. So fortunately, we have some wonderful and talented image consultants right here in the Thrive community, like Katherine Johnson and Natalie Chaperon. The bottom line is, don't let how you're dressing diminish your brilliance, and keep your ideal clients from seeing you as a potential mentor. And hey, if you've got a little pushback about this, it's totally fine. Go ahead and leave a comment, whether it's right now live or a little bit later, and I'll check in. And all right. And any other comments here? Just want to come in and see lots of hellos. I'm so glad Kelly's here. Vondette's here. Hey, Vondette, I'm going to share your some of your positioning statements in a little bit as some examples. So I'm glad you're here. Sue, you're here. Nicole is here. And I have somebody in, I don't know which language this is your name, but you're waving hello, hello. So glad that you are here. All right, so let's get into the 5th way to position yourself. Now, I have to say this, that in our Client Attraction Mastery program, we have 15 different ways to position yourself, and that would have made a really long video. And I also feel that wouldn't be totally fair to the people who've invested in the program. But if you are interested in that, I've got these 2 special gifts for you. One is the copy of the book, and the second is to get into our Coaches and Holistic Practitioners Who Change the World Facebook group. And if you are in either of those places and you are participating, meaning you're opening our emails and you're paying attention to what's going on in that group, you're going to know when we open up enrollment for Client Attraction Mastery Online Academy, which is going to be in October. We're going to precede that with our Book 5 Consults in 5 Days Challenge. So make sure to take those 2 actions. Get your free copy of the book. The link is in the description here. And go ahead and join the Facebook group, Coaches and Holistic Practitioners Who Change the World. So, and that is where you will, in that program, Client Attraction Mastery Online Academy, that's where you will get all 15 ways to position yourself. But I think we've got some pretty good ways to get you started. So let's talk about number 5, and that is positioning your client's success. So you can use success stories to inspire your potential clients. You can share them as case studies to teach principles that have worked for your clients. So the side benefit is that when you share success stories, you're sharing a case study, so you can actually have people learn something, and it shows that your stuff works. So you want the success story to be impressive enough that someone in the same position as your potential client would gladly pay $1,000, even $25,000 to get the same result. So you could actually go to our website. If you go to thrive-academy.com and you go hover over the cursor tab that says results, look for 10,000 Hour Month Club from the drop-down menu, and you will see tons of success stories as examples. So, and then another awesome positioning piece inside of this is that if you can actually track average results from your clients, that is amazing. So I'll give you some average results here from our Client Attraction Mastery program. So it's from one of our previous program. And, we all have seen challenges out there, and we've been doing a 30-day challenge in our Client Attraction Mastery program for many, many, many years. And we call it a game. And this is actually a 24-day game. We had 71 members play the game. They earned a total of $356,008.06 in new sales. And this doesn't include clients they already had. $5,014.20 was the average new sales per member. Now, they delivered a total of 391 free consultations. So they earned an average of $910.51 per free consultation that was delivered on average. And we also found out the weekend that there were still exactly 100 consults that were scheduled to be delivered and 111 maybes to follow up with. And they also gifted themselves with an average of 70 self-care hours on average per person. That's an average of about 3 hours per day. Now, I told you my slides weren't working today, but if I could, I would show you this on slides and you'd see a diagram of it so you would really be able to see it. But even just to say something like our average client earned $5,000 during the first month of the program, that sounds pretty hot, right? And so, this is one thing, is to track average results. Now, you might think that tracking average results only works if you help people make money, but that's absolutely not the case. So I have a few examples from some thrivers who track average results in a different way. So Dot Spat, Dot has found that her clients report that 92% of their back pain is relieved after doing her 10-session package. So she has a 10-session package. She does work around relieving back pain. 92% on average, of their back pain is relieved. So pretty cool, right? Dr. Tom and Summerjoy Urema, they help people lose weight naturally, and they have tracked how much weight their clients lost, and they found that their clients have collectively lost over 2,000 pounds. Now, I got that stat from them probably about 6-7 years ago, so they're probably closer to 10,000 to 15,000 pounds at this point. Now, this works best, this average results, if you're like tracking your clients' results, you find that a high percentage of your clients are getting results. So those are some different ways to position yourself. Any questions you have, would love to see what you have to say here. All right. Yep. Linda says appearance has never been my favorite positioning, but it is so important. It's so true. All right. Vondette had to jump off, unfortunately, but I want to share with you some examples of some of her positioning pieces. And so here is, all right. So actually, I've got Anubhav right here. Anubhav helps coaches and holistic practitioners stop the niche switch. And he said, hey, one of his positioning pieces is, I've been doing this for over 15 years. I'm reading this on my phone. Initially working with companies like PayPal, Wells Fargo, and over the past few years working with solopreneurs. But the journey hasn't been easy. For a long time, I felt stuck in the corporate world so much that I got injured really badly. And so that is, you see that humanity and expertise, right? You see that example right there. That's from Anubhav. And then I have Vondette's here as well. And Vondette, this is one of her positioning pieces. For more than 20 years, I had an international referral-based business in which doctors referred over 2,000 patients with chronic pain to me. Okay, just the fact that she got referred that many patients by doctors, she could stop right there and we are done. We are like, oh, I got chronic pain. How do you help me? Would you agree? All right. So she said these people were whose medication was no longer working and they were contemplating surgery, had already had surgery and were still in pain. 85% of those clients, here's an average results, experienced significant changes in 6 weeks or less. And then she gives an example of a 70-year-old woman. This is a client success story. A 70-year-old woman who'd been in pain every day for 25 years, seen the best of the best, even been to the Mayo and other top clinics and had multiple surgeries. After her first hour with me, she got up with tears in her eyes and said she wanted to kiss my feet. It was the first time in 25 years she was not in pain. She said, of course, I didn't let her kiss my feet. However, she called her sons and they proceeded to book appointments on the spot for their migraines and back pain because they'd watched their mother suffer for so long. Now they all enjoy golfing and are no longer on pain medication. All right. So do you see the brilliance and the beauty in these examples? I mean, powerful examples. If you have any positioning statements that you're using currently, or if you have something that just, you heard this video, you watched this video, and now you have, you've got a new way, you want to go ahead and post it here for our feedback, we would love to hear from you. So that is it for Thrive Thursday. Make sure to pick up your free gifts. There you have it. That's 5 ways to create instant credibility with anyone you meet so you can attract amazing clients. Hey, if you like this video, share it with other coaches and holistic practitioners who change the world. And I invite you to download that copy of the free book. All right, this is Charlotte Jacobs signing off. Make it a great day because your people are waiting for you. Bye-bye, everyone.